One day, we'll be looking back on this and we'll say, aren't you happy that we did it our way? Everyone we knew was saying no way, but we were never listening anyway. So don't be just standing in the doorway. Don't you know we gotta hit the highway? Darling, this is gonna be a good day. And I've gotta say that I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. One day, I'll be looking back on this and I'll say, I'm so happy that you said you would stay. There were times I know that I was crazy, fraying at the edges and you saved me. I'm losing count of chances that you gave me. You're laughing at me dancing really badly and telling me the reasons why you'd gladly do it all again. 'Cause I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Well, hey, words can never adequately convey everything you're giving to me today. But holding you is better than a holiday, and leaving you, I dread it like exam day. So at the risk of sounding kinda risque, everything to now has been the foreplay. Darling, I would follow you to Norway, or anywhere you want it. 'Cause I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. One day, when we're getting wrinkly and our hair's grey, a rusty old banger in the driveway.
Now take
One
yourself
of
off
us will
mute for the
maybe
end,
never
guys.
to pay, but I will be in love with you.
Welcome, everybody. How are we all feeling?
Relieved.
Relieved? Drop it in the chat. What's the one word that you feel? So your word is relieved, Marie. Ubad, you've been told to dance a bit, my friend. This is the time to celebrate. Relieved. How are you feeling, Sandra?
Excited.
Beautiful. So we have relieved, and excited. I love that. Did you watch the presentations, Linda? Let's all take ourselves off mute because
No.
we're a small group.
Nilsa's trying to get in. She just sent a WhatsApp.
Yeah, I just let her in. Accomplished. Marie, that is a much better word than relieved. Who would agree? Accomplished is a more empowering word than relieved. Yeah.
Mari did so good. So did you, Ubad. So good.
Thank you. Thank you for all the help and support, even, earlier yesterday and today. Amazing. Thank you.
This is what it's all about, Ube. I'm letting Nielsen in. It's about just being ready. It's about just doing it anyway. Your message is so powerful that people connect to it. It doesn't matter if you get the right words. It doesn't matter if you make some ums and ers. It doesn't matter if you forget your place. What matters is your intention behind the message and your mission. The message and the mission is what we heard
Yeah.
today. And that is what made it so freaking amazing, my friend.
For saying that.
So, who would like to share first about their experience today?
I'll share.
Go ahead, Linda.
It was amazing, guys. I felt each of your hearts in your stories. And I was on the journey with each one of you. Your presentations were different, but I could feel being on a boat with Marty's Italian cruiser on his only ship. I'm also a sailor, so I could relate to it probably a little bit more. We'll have to talk later. Ubaid, you and I talked yesterday, so I knew you had suffered burnout, but the way you presented it today gave a totally different perspective, which was nice to see. And again, you and I will at some point in time work together, I am sure. And Sandra, you have such an energy, spirit, and a determination to survive. And that came through. I also divorced. I also have 4 kids. Been there, done that, and I was with you. So for each one of you, I was on your journeys with you, and you really caught my heart. So I thank all 3 of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, amazing Linda. You are amazing.
You are Linda.
I'm curious, Linda, what for you was the biggest insight that you took away from all of our presentations today that is going to help you be even more powerful when you present at our next graduation?
Just to take on that it's your life, because that's essentially what everybody's talking, their lives, their heart, how it impacts what you do. So just making sure to take those tools, the stories that they told, the examples, what they've accomplished. So there were like many things that they touched on that are definitely what I should include in my speech. So I took my notes of what mine hopefully will look like at the end.
I love what you said there, Linda, but I did not like the word hopefully. So I would love you to
Oh,
stress
I
that.
agree. I agree. That is one of my downfalls in life. That
Previously
is true. Previously, there you go.
was one of my downfalls.
It was.
And isn't that amazing that, we get this group to hold us all to a higher standard by inspiring and reflecting together.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear from you now, Sandra, if it's okay, about your experience, because you are our first speaker. How brave to go first. About what was the experience like for you? How did you feel throughout it? How did you feel it went? What did you love about what you delivered?
Obviously I've done so many I mean, literally, guys, this was like my 10th iteration. And even today I'm, making changes. Last night I recorded myself and I sounded so monotone. So I was really focused today on bringing the emotion to the different areas that I wanted to. So that was one thing. I'm so happy that I recorded it and did so many versions that I did, because I didn't feel like, I obviously was looking down, to kind of get where I was, but I wasn't relying on my script, and I was really happy about that. Just has been hours and hours of practice and recording and watching it back and listening to it in the car and all of that. So I felt really good today. I really did. One of Patrice, who's joining the academy next time, he blew up my WhatsApp. It was like, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Let's have lunch today, So he's, and someone else I just met was on, and she was like, my God, I had no idea. So like, I don't know, for me, it was fun. I had definitely a little bit of nerves, but because I knew what I was going to say, once I got into the groove, I was fine, so. And that's like with anything, but I wanted to so I purposely, the backdrop is all my people, right? So I just I created kind of I wanted to create this is my unit back here. These are my kids. This is my family. So I also kind of thought about like where I was going to be presenting from. So those are just things that I thought about.
And what's one thing you would love to be even better if next time?
Oh, I'd be better at I'd be better. I think my timing was off. There were times that I felt like I was like I was nervous. And I'm just like the stories, I'm still not sure about my transitions. So, there's so much to improve on, but this was a good start. I felt like this was a good start.
Okay, beautiful. Did anyone else notice some of Sandra's concerns about things that could be better? No? What, everyone else thought it was really good? What I would love to invite you all to do is, what's one thing specifically about Sandra's talk today? Because we've all seen Sandra talk before, and you've done a brilliant job every time I've seen you do it, Sandra. But, I will start that I felt today there was even more vocal variety and elevation in the delivery. You're really connected to your speech, but I really loved how you were almost like playing the emotional strings with your voice and the melody of your voice. And I loved the inclusion of Matt. And I know it's something that you didn't want to include, but that for me was the point where it just kind of really created an even deeper connection than what I've seen you before. So that's what I loved about it myself. Who else would love to share something specific with Sandra? Charlene?
Sandra was great. Was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I concur with Luke that sharing the story about Matt was important in terms of connecting you to your audience and giving an insight that you're not just this perfect person on this perfect journey, because your insights were really seasoned, right? And so you forget sometimes what people have gone through to get to those seasoned insights. So I think it was an important piece. The only thing I would say is to slow down.
Yeah.
Just slow down. Because there were some times when I was like, I didn't get a chance to absorb a point that you made.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just take your time with it. And especially when you have kind of a script in front of you, it's kind of hard to slow down sometimes because you're focused on transmitting the information.
Yeah.
But every time you slowed down, I felt like I got some space to come in and get
Gotcha.
deep into your talk. So, but really good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
that was beautiful. Marie?
I was going to say, when you're vulnerable, there's something very special about that you open yourself to share and people can come in. And the other thing is the resilience. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Marie. Who else would love to give some very specific and beautiful feedback for Sandra? Who would love to go next?
I
Ubed?
can go next. Amazing delivery, as noted already. Great body language and great facial expressions and emotions that came when she was delivering the speech. So amazing. Uh, and it just showed that you practiced quite a number of times. And you mentioned with me as well earlier last week that earlier when we discussed, you had already sent 4 or 5 drafts, already. So this shows that you had practiced and very well rehearsed and great delivery.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. And Ubaid, is there anything you noticed that you felt could make Sandra's even better, if such a thing were possible?
To be very honest, when I was listening to her, I really thought that she did a great job. And she did, when in a small breakout session, I had heard her before, and now this her final version, amazing. So I didn't find anything that might need attention. Maybe slowing down, maybe a good suggestion for me as well, as noted. That is one thing that can help anyone. But other than that, nothing really that came to my attention.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, actually, Sandra, if you don't mind me saying so. I think when we get feedback as a speaker to slow down,
Mhm.
it can feel sometimes, oh, I need to slow down, like it's a critical feedback. But I think that Charlene really hit on something there where it's not slowing down because your pace is too fast. It's because the depth and the weight of your words,
Yeah.
there's so much to take in and to really experience that it's a gift to the audience
Mhm.
rather than a need in terms of pace.
Yeah.
It's just giving people that space to lean into. Yeah, I think that's a really amazing observation and feedback, Sandra.
Yeah. And I love that, like giving people the ability to come in. So that's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah. How about you, Nilsa?
Hi, Sandra.
Hi,
For
Neil.
me, it was a gift of magic. I always, when I listen to the speakers, I try to like, I transform myself into what they're speaking. So for me, Sandra's whole speech was about this legacy that she has created with her family and the value of the connection with people. So that in that, as she was speaking, I'm looking for the aim as she was speaking. That's what I saw, the connection, the family, the friends, her group of women, the Hallmark Christmas scenario that and myself, I always do that in my home as well. So I'm here to enjoying you're such a great person. I'm like happy that I got to meet you. And I remember having dinner with you. So I'm seeing all these different aspects of you that are unfolding in this story. And that's what I enjoyed the most. Just all the scenes, these little scenes of your life. And like Charlene says, they're seasoned. You're a woman with experience, you're resourceful. There's resourcefulness, there's resilience, there's love, you're on a mission and you accomplish what you go out to do, but you also have these kids that are learning from you. And I think that's for me that's the magic of being in this group and listening to all of you. All of you just enrich my life today so much. I'm ready to go. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And is there anything specific that you think Sandra could do even better?
Well, yeah, I mean, she had so much wealth, and I even wrote to you on the chat. I mean, you have another book here. You
I
have
saw.
you have another book here. You have your first book, which I have, People Profit, which I have here. And so what's going to come after this People Profit? There's a series, and you just gave us another series of another book. It could be legacy. There was yeah, and obviously everybody said to slow down a little bit, but not to slow down because your speech was fast, is because I was getting all this information.
Yeah.
And I missed something. Like I wrote legacy building, and then you said something after that I wanted to write down because I really loved it. So giving me the space so I can absorb even more of what your message is.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you very much, everybody.
And I love that, Neil, so that you already think, so how could this talk be your next book and grow from that? And that title, People Profit, if it's okay, I just threw out an idea that came to me. Maybe Network Worth is your next book. Beautiful.
I love that.
I mean, if you take Tony Robbins for a minute, he took a scene of his life and he's created this billion-dollar industry, just sharing with all of us. And as we connect with him, we grow with him by these scenes of his life that he shares with us.
Love that. Thank you, Neil, sir.
Thank
And
you.
Linda, anything to add?
We should move on.
We will.
Sandra, you deserve all the praise you're getting right now. You did an unbelievable job. And the biggest thing I've learned, among many things, is that I need to practice the hell out of when it's my opportunity, because it was so natural for you. You didn't seem to be nervous. You had all these great visionary stories that I could really see. Your descriptions were wonderful. And then, like everybody else, it's like Nilsa, I was listening to stories. I'm like, she's already on to the next one. I need to still have a pause there so I could absorb all the emotion that was involved in each story, because each story had so many aspects to it that my heart was fluttering there for a while. So I was like, I need a minute to take a breath, but beautiful job.
Thank you. And just so you guys know, those stories were none of those are my original stories. None.
Wow. Wow. Let's have another little round of applause for Sandra. What an amazing presentation you did today, Sandra.
Thank you,
you
everybody.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Ubaid, this is your moment, my friend. Talk us through your experience today.
Amazing experience after having initial thoughts of not doing it yesterday. Then Laurie called me last evening, and she encouraged me, and that encouragement really helped me to come on today, to even though I was not prepared for it, but I had been in all the classes and took notes, and I was very confident with the frameworks that have been taught, that this imperfect delivery will mean a lot for me and for my learning, and it will always improve from this point onwards. What was lacking in my speech, I knew that I had not practiced at all. There were a lot of other things that I have had to focus on during the last week or so, but that being said, that is not an excuse for not being well prepared. But I just knew that these frameworks are, going to be applicable in 4 weeks or 6 weeks time, when I felt I may be ready. Not maybe, I will be ready. Uh,
Good
and
catch, my friend. Good catch.
Thank you so much for your everyone's support, and I'm open to feedback that will help me improve for the future talks. Thank you.
Okay, who would love to share their specific feedback on what they loved about Ubaid's speech? Charlene, you look ready.
Yes. Ubaid, what I love right now is your expression at this moment, that now that it's behind you, now you can start to, like you said, now you can start to actually work on it, because it actually exists now. It's not just in your head. In your whole expression, your shoulders are more relaxed, there's a smile in your eye. And I think it's so great to see. And as you were speaking, I was thinking, when he's finished with this, he's going to be so relaxed. And it's exactly, I mean, when you smile, it's really magic. So that would be my biggest piece of feedback for you, is allow this part of you to be in the mix when you give your talk, because your talk is so from the heart. Now that you've got the content, you can just start to play with your delivery and working with your accent by just, again, articulating your words, not feeling like you have to go too fast to get us the information. Your stories are really good. And one thing that I would say to you is talk to one specific person. Think of someone you're talking to and talk to that person, and see if that helps you just feel like it's less about the information and more about the candor of sharing something with someone you know, someone who actually needs the information that you're talking about. Because I think you have this person in mind. I think you know who this person is in your community. And I would just say, talk to that person, because then we get this person. We get you now that you're just, this is me and this is what I have to share. And smile, because you really have a great smile. And it puts me at ease as someone listening to you. That is really magical. So great job, really. Thank you for showing up and doing it, because I know you were thinking you weren't prepared and you weren't going to do it, but it really meant a lot. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for this amazing feedback.
Okay, who else would love to share? Oh, Sandra?
But I've felt you all the way through this 8 weeks. It's been such an amazing journey with you throughout all of this. And I was so excited for you today. and not knowing anything that's happened for you. But the the impact, like the points, the action steps that you gave to people, because sometimes people are swimming in that burnout and they just don't have the action steps to take. And when you talked about TikTok, oh my God, can I relate? Can anyone relate to just that scrolling that happens? Like, to be your age and our age, and you're a medical doctor, and you having that, like, it's so relatable to everybody. I really thought it was great, and I'll echo what Charlene said. This is your foundation. This is what you're going to build off of. You've had a lot of obstacles along the way, but now you've done it. So in 8 weeks, when you go to do it again, it's going to be like, oh, I've already done this and I know what to expect. So that, I think, is going to be huge for you as well. I was so impressed, and um, I was so happy that you did it. I really, really, really was. So congratulations to you, and smile, dude. You got to smile and dance a little bit. We're going to.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing that. And I will keep this at the back of my head. Thank you.
Okay, Marie.
But I would have to say ditto, because I could feel your fear, and the anxiety. I had the same thing. Probably I showed less, but as I do films and I tell stories, I think the most important is a story, that people can relate to. And in this case, my dad was an orthopedic surgeon, and I have been raised around Mayo Clinic and all these places. So it was it was very relatable. I could understand what you were trying to say, and I really appreciate your sharing, because I am surrounded seeing people that get burned out, and I get so upset about it. When are people going to stop doing this stuff of pushing doctors to go up to the end, And so thank you.
No, thank you for that feedback. And I just had an opportunity day before yesterday to discuss what I'm planning to do moving forward with one of the colleagues I work with in Iowa. And this is exactly what we were talking about, that it is that we are just fortunate to have worked in such programs where we as a team never felt burned out. And that is the solution that I'm going to provide to other healthcare providers, because I have seen it firsthand amongst people working in different places, different hospitals. And either I'm very lucky that even in Iowa, and then when I came to New York City, this teamwork was what helped us survive. And it was like, this is the solution that we are going to provide to the rest of the world, that come learn from us how not to be burned out in working in healthcare fields. And this is what we are planning to teach our ideal clients.
I wanted to share, this is a funny story of my dad in the time when they were beepers, the beeper. He was so frustrated because everybody was calling him that he grabbed it and flushed it in the toilet. He was just so fed up with the calls. Anyhow, probably you've done that too, but I don't know.
The beepers, I would just take the battery and switch it off until when my time comes, and then I will put back the battery.
Yeah, it's like, how much can you do?
Thank you, Marie. Nielsa, what do you have to share?
First of all, I have to share that I am so proud of Uvat for showing up, because you did an amazing job. I mean, this is my I've done this 3 times, and every time it's like, but I show up anyway. So I even if you have to read, it's okay, because you showed up. And like Charlene said, now you're on the other side of it. You did it, and you have an amazing story. I don't know a lot about medicine like Mari and Linda, but I understand what burnout is, because you don't have to be a doctor to feel burned out. There's so many other professions that give you the opportunity to feel burnout. And when you put on top of that taking care of children and a household and a business, it starts piling up. So I understand perfectly what burnout is. And for me, it was again magical to have a doctor talk about yoga and breathing and somatic. Because I am married to an engineer who's all about science. And if that's not in his engineering books, well, like that's woo-woo stuff. But to hear you, a doctor with credibility, a doctor who with integrity, look how you got your visa by being honest. So I started connecting all these C's, the coolness with the TikTok, the credibility with the medical background, and then the honesty, for me, the integrity. When you met with that, I don't know, what do you call them, the customs or the immigration officer. And I love that you're standing up and you're creating a program. That gives me the thing that I love, business and scaling a business. And I know you're going to do amazing with your experience. Oh, and the storytelling. Without even coming to the academy, you were practicing storytelling with all your colleagues at the hospital. That was unique as well. So I'm happy that you're in our academy. I'm really, really excited to hear your next iteration of this speech.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the encouragement yesterday as well.
Yeah, I was like, no, you're gonna show. You need to show up. You need to show up because that's 80% of 80% of this is showing up. And you did. So you're on the other side of it. And it's gonna be easier going forward. And remember Lori's thing, it's stand up. First, we got to stand up, and we all stand up. And then as we practice, we start speaking up. And then we scale up. So there's a journey that we're taking here. So
No,
yeah, thank you.
Amazing learnings, and learning from all of you has also been a great experience. Learning alongside all of you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nilsa. Linda.
So like everybody else who bid, I'm so proud that you did this. And you're so brave because when I did my first speech, I wasn't willing to tell anybody except Lori. And I was petrified. So the fact that you were able to tell everybody in the community, you're such a brave individual to do that. So I applaud you for that. Your speech is filled with all that you know. And it's perfect in just the way it is, the words. And you know what you do, you know what you want to do, but you need to relax. And I think that's the only thing I would say for you is you have this. You've experienced it. You have a framework that you're working from based on your experiences in Iowa. Just take that and share that with everybody with confidence, knowing that what you're going to offer the healthcare community is something special. And being a nurse, my teams, except for the ones that I ran when I managed a healthcare facility, did not have that support that you want to share with everybody, like yoga and mindfulness and the tools that you need to be able to survive. So I applaud you, and it was a great job.
Yeah,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
And just one word, if I can, Linda, if it's okay, because I am a grammar Nazi and I apologize for that, but it is meant in the nicest spirit. You need to relax, Ubaid. You can relax, Ubaid. You already
Yeah.
got this, my friend. You get to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about what everybody has shared is that when you relax, this beautiful smile comes through. And I think just like with Sandra, this theme of Even Better If was around pausing. And I'm feeling that for you, Ubaid, the theme and the aim from everybody is just show us that beautiful smile, that beautiful heart even more. Because Linda's right. The words, the stories are already within you. And actually, I believe you are even better without your script. When you shared, was it yesterday? When you said you weren't going to do it, and you just really honestly said, I'm sorry, guys, I can't do this. Things have been happening. Just the level of authenticity when you stopped reading and you started just expressing. I think that is where your next level will come from. Letting go of the words and the specifics and the language and the specificity, and just because your true passion is, I don't want anyone else to experience this. I've seen firsthand what happens when this is not addressed. That's why I need to tell you, I have to share with you why this is so important. It's so powerful.
No, amazing feedback, and also the pauses. I think I need to take. This is something that Laurie and me discussed, that taking enough and pauses would also help, like slow down, along with everything that you have identified, and slowing down also would be helpful in my situation. Thank you.
Yeah, and what's great, Ubaid, is your natural rhythm is quite a kinesthetic voice. I have to work really hard to speak at this pace because you've seen me, hey, listen, somebody else is coming. That's my natural pace. But I've learned through working with Laurie and all of you guys that I can choose my cadence, my pace, my pauses. And when I do that, all the filler words just disappear. It's a gift. The gift we all have to give ourselves and our audience is silence. People say in music, it's not the notes, it's the space between the notes that makes the music the melody. And I think with speaking, that's such a powerful truth that we all get to experience with one another, and we get to integrate into the next level of our presentation. So thank you for being such a great example of that, Ubaid.
Thanks for all this amazing feedback.
Sandra, did you share already? Okay, perfect. So now, Marie. Now, Marie, just before you do share how you're feeling, your audio sounds a little bit quiet. I don't know whether you changed a speaker or something on your settings, but you were just a little bit quiet, and I know we all want to lean into what you're going to share with us now. So maybe you could speak closer to the microphone so we can all hear you clear as a bell. Oh, you're on mute, my love. We definitely can't hear you when that's going
You
on.
hear me now?
Here we go. Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. How did I feel? I feel very unprepared. I did not practice enough. So I'm not going to go self-loathing, but
Just before you do share this, Marie, I just want to share something. I had a call with Marie Monday after it was just before our community call yesterday. And I didn't know Marie's talk. I hadn't heard it. And I said, just no notes, don't look at your notes at all. Just share what's on your heart. What's it about? And she did such a great job, and she didn't do it in the right order. And she said, oh, and this is other thing. But the power, just like with Ubaid yesterday on the call, was there because it's who she is. She was communicating who she is, not the words she wants us to hear. And that is so powerful. And I saw that again today, Marie.
what?
Just that you were sharing who you were, not the words you wanted us to hear.
Good. There was the lack of practice could have, I feel like I was trying, there were some things that I had to pull back. Like there were two reasons why I'm doing the film, but then also, so the personal touch is very important, and I pulled it up. But I'd love to hear from you guys.
So Mari, I texted you last night. You didn't answer me, so I knew you didn't want to talk. So, but I thought you brought us into the story. You brought us into your innovation. Like you couldn't go on the sailing ship, and I'm like, I want her to go. Like she wants to go. Like you brought us into that story. But then you were like, but wait, let me get the GoPros. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So I'm in this with you, just hearing you and knowing you. It was really so good. Your challenge was technology. You kept going in and out. That was a big, there was some choppiness there.
Okay.
But what you brought to the table, and I knew, because I know you, I knew you were nervous, but your passion, the way you told your stories, talking about your friend and like what you wanted, I thought that was so I thought it was so brilliant. And I'm bummed that you didn't do the 8-time Emmy Award winner. I'm telling you right there, but that's okay. I thought it was great. I really did. I think you're gonna sell this documentary as you continue to tell your story. So yes, you're hard on yourself. You've had a lot going on, but again, it's just a stepping stone to what's next and what's next and what's next.
Did it help the visuals?
I thought so. The map was good. I thought the map was good. When you went dark, that was I wasn't, because I knew where you were gonna go dark, but it didn't make a lot of sense when you did go dark, because you didn't kind of talk about that ahead of time. So that's my very honest feedback.
I wanted to make people feel uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
and surprised. I didn't think I needed to explain it, but now you're saying that probably I need to explain it, because when you're afraid, you're kind of in the dark.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. You're feeling uncomfortable. You're feeling afraid.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the effect. But if I need to explain it, that's good to know.
That was my experience. But you brought me right into those stories. I was like, I'm all in, and I felt your pain when you couldn't get on the boat. Great job. Great job.
Charlene.
Thank you, Marie. Just one point that Sandra brought up, I didn't know that your screen going dark was part of the plan, because you had other technical things going on where your feed was stopping. So if you're doing something like that, you have to definitely tell your audience, because for me, it seemed like, oh my God, she's gone. What happened? And I thought it was a technical thing. So I didn't realize it was part of the presentation. I didn't hear that. And about a third into your talk, because first of all, you have fantastic facial expressions when you're telling stories. You really do. I mean, you share on your face your feelings about it. You do a little bit of role play, quoting other people and telling their point of view, which is really important, because you are obviously a storyteller. You're a filmmaker. So as soon as you got past some of your nerves, you were just in it. And it was really great to see. And I know, having done a lot of public speaking, that when you're nervous, the first third is you're still thinking about all the things you should have done. And, oh, is this going to work? And is that going to work? And first of all, the visuals really worked. I loved the map. I really did. And the point of view of the cameras on the boat completely worked. But I wouldn't worry too much about that stuff, because all that stuff can go away, as Lori and I have, and Lori has talked about it with all of us. And it's happened to me as I'm doing a PowerPoint, the tech goes out, and then I'm just left with the stories that I'm telling. So I think when you stop worrying about the tech, those stories came through, your facial expressions, your animation, your hand gestures pulled me completely in. I was like, okay, now we're on the journey with Marie. So I think as you promote this film, the more that you just let all that stuff go and just tell the stories, because you've got it. You're really a natural storyteller.
Thank you.
And it was really a beautiful presentation. I can't wait to see this film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. How about you, Ubed?
Amazing delivery. Again, under the circumstances that she's mentioning, she was nervous as I was, and but great delivery, and the use of multimedia images, that map really was something that helped visual people like me to kind of get an idea. So that is what I noticed, that amazing delivery and amazing use of multimedia.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ubaid. Nilsa.
For me, I went on an adventure with Mari. So from the beginning, locked in with the fear, voices in my head that says I'm not good enough. So this is an adventure, this whole thing. And then the fear leads to the unexpected, the power voices. Are we leapers or are we runners? Then she shares that she loves sailing, which I didn't know, which was amazing. And she talks about the boat Maribel. But then she brings us into the technology of filmmaking. There's a camera called Gemini that's used in space, but she's using it on this documentary. That's like high-end tech that we want to see this film. There's some high-end tech in there where she's able to see the fishes jumping in the air and all the things that you mentioned about filmmaking. You mentioned how beautiful the Mediterranean Sea is, and then you say you can scuba dive and enjoy the Italian food. But then after you're talking about the crossroads and the 33 islands and Lucho and the opportunity, you at the end wrap it up with a message that's so powerful. We all arrive where we started, and we see the place for the first time. And that right there is like, that's what she does. I've seen some of her documentaries, and that's what she does. You go through this journey, and then she wraps it up with a message that impacts everybody, wherever you are in life. That's where we are. We do this journey, but then we arrive at the same place, and we see it for the first time.
And you see it for
So that's what I got from the adventure you gave me this morning.
Wow, thank you. I don't know if I said this part, but I need to tell you guys. As we were preparing, my husband had his retina ripped.
Yeah, you mentioned the retina. Yes.
Yeah. And imagine for a filmmaker, he was the head guy that was supposed to lead everybody on how to use the cameras. And he had 3 operations. And so I'm like, hey, Brooks, it's the gym for your eye. I didn't know what to say anymore. It was so scary. And you can appreciate this, but I mean, it's like you lose perspective when you only have one eye. How was he going to walk through all these cobblestones, etc.? So there was a lot of preparation, uncertainty, and unknown. But like what I was saying is that's what fear does to us, and some people plunge into it. As you were saying, what was it? You were saying, Luke, it was the lion or the mouse.
Yeah, the leaper or the
Like
runner was,
yeah.
sometimes we're lions, sometimes we're mice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, no, it is a great, it is not a good thing to have that surgery. I hope it went well and he has recovered well.
He said, the lens is broken and it won't be able to be repaired. So we've been living with that, and he's done okay. He's done okay. Thanks for asking.
I wish for a speedy recovery. I'm sure he's under expert, guidance, and I'm sure this documentary you want to sell to Disney, right? If I remember.
Yeah, Disney purchased National Geographic, so that's who I'm aiming for. It's an adventure.
Now, if you can share the link, we will all. I would love to watch your documentary and even the previous documentary. Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
definitely.
Well, I got to say, Nilsa, that was textbook. Being a good speaker starts with being a good listener. Your summary and the specificity, I can't make that many notes with such a level of quotation. So I just want to honor you for listening at just another level. And I know that, you've been through the academy a couple of times, so you are an old hand at this in the best possible way. But that was just such an incredible example of listening with specificity, in capturing, I think, the same essence that Marie shared with feedback. So I just really want to honor you for that, Nielsa. Thank you.
Thank you. Can
Linda.
you tell me how the delivery came? I'm just, was I saying ums and likes and
No?
The
no?
thing
Okay.
is, I don't listen to that. I always listen to the messages and what you're trying to transmit. So I don't have that ear to if there's ums or any of that. I'm always listening for these messages. That's me.
God bless you, because in editing I have to clean everybody's. But
There were no obvious ums or likes at all that took away from your story at all.
I think it's because you
Okay.
slowed it down, Marie. You slowed
Slow it down.
You slowed it down. When we went through it on Monday,
Yes.
there was that desperation to get the words out, you know,
Yes.
which was where the ums and the likes were coming from, you know, and we had a conversation, didn't we? You just slow it down and they disappear. And I think you did that beautifully today.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I think they say when you've done the 100th repetition, it goes.
Repetition is the
Muchas
mother of
gracias.
skill.
Muchas gracias.
Linda.
Luke, want to second what you said about Nilsa. It's always impressed me in every class I've been with her, how she gives such beautiful feedback and she captures every word that anybody says and is able to educate them on how they can be better. And that's definitely one of her many strengths. So kudos, Nilsa. And Mari, I felt, even though you just explained the story about your husband, I felt that fear and how you needed to take over making this film, you know, and the questions that you started to have about yourself. So I thought that was an underlying story that was was beautiful, you know, to be able to hear that. And the pictures were great. The visuals were great. I loved it because you really got perspective. First of all, my geography isn't that good, so having the picture of Italy there really gave me perspective on what this individual accomplished, as well as the fact of the size of the boat and the camera that you used, you know. So being a sailor myself, I understood the challenges that he was going through, and the Gemini camera really picked up that visual. It was a great, and I look forward to watching all of your documentaries. I'm really excited, and also to have my grandchildren watch them with me because they need to watch better TV.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Linda. So for me, Marie, I think just like Ubaid, you know, from where you were on Monday, feeling like you weren't ready, I think you delivered an outstanding presentation. And your energy and your emotions were what I loved the most about it. Just like with Ubaid, I think you both did an incredible job of that in just being really real and authentic. I think that from a technical perspective, there was a couple of dropouts in the audio, but it wasn't too problematic. I think for me, what I would love to see is better front lighting. Now, it might be that you're looking to get this dark, moody atmosphere because you're a filmmaker and I am not. And that dark, moody frame up does play well into the darkness. However, I think if you had more lighting front on, so we could see those beautiful expressions that other people have mentioned, I think that actually the juxtaposition between very well lit and darkness would look less like a technical glitch. And a way to introduce it, I just wrote a couple of things down. First one I wrote was, you know, how does it feel for you when you don't know what to do? Maybe your mind goes blank. Maybe you're plunged into darkness. Then we go all to black. The other
So
thing I
good.
wrote down was, what does fear feel like for you?
Mm.
Is it going blank? Is it everything looks black? So
Yeah.
two ways that you could frame that up powerfully so that,
Okay.
oh, wow, yeah, this is how it feels for me. This is what fear feels like for Marie. This is what fear feels like for some people. So I think
Okay.
you can just that little bit of introduction could really add to the dramatic aspect of that change.
Thank you.
And finally, the thing that I loved, which is what I should have started with, is that you brought things into the present tense. I think you did that really well in that I forget who it was who said, it might have been you, Charlene. I was there with you on the boat experiencing that turmoil because you framed it as though it was happening. And I thought you did that so well, specifically. And I think that is your storytelling ability. You do that
Mhm.
so well, you probably didn't even notice it. But the ability
Uh-huh.
to keep us in the present tense whilst narrating a story was
Yeah.
something that I love the most about it.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'll tell you guys, I thought it started at 11 and Lori calls me and I'm like, oh shit, I got to get on this. So it's like the lighting and all things, you know, that's how I winged it. I winged it. But I'm glad at least, was it very low volume
No,
or,
the volume was fine when you were presenting. It's only on this call that I've noticed it.
oh, really? So you can't hear me very well now?
It's just a little quieter than usual. You don't need to worry about it because you've leaned forward a little bit, but it's just something to take a look at.
Okay. Thank you.
And I
I have
think
my laptop here on my desk,
yeah,
but
I think it brings us full circle to something that I think I said when we were on the call. There's the talk you want to give, there is the talk you prepare for, and there is the talk that you give. And we're always oscillating between those, but the one that you give is the one that you learn the most from. And for all of you, I know that some of you are still on your journey in the academy and working on it. And I know that everybody who is continuing on the journey to present in 4 weeks have learned so much from you, Ubaid and Marie, in your vulnerability, in your willingness to do it no matter what. I'll do whatever it takes. I call this an IDWIT moment. I'll do whatever it takes. And I think both of you had an IDWIT moment today. And you gave the presentation that was the right presentation. And for you guys, it's the next level is what you've reached. Now, for me personally, I would love to see more of you, and so, if that's something that makes sense for you, I know that we'd all love to have you continue with us to take it to the next level, because there is always another level. Like, I've been focusing on public speaking myself for about 2 years, investing and showing up to things, and I do Toastmasters live, but I'm always hungry for me personally for my own next level, and that's why I've repeated this particular course. But whatever you do, just make sure that you stay on the journey to continue to develop, because I believe this is a skill that shows up everywhere, not just in front of a camera, not just on top of a stage. It's every single phone call that I have. I started a comedy class last night, an 8-week comedy class for improvisational comedy. So in 8 weeks, I'm going to be doing a stand-up comedy gig in front of a live audience. And that terrifies me a little bit. And it's strange because when I went last night, I rarely feel that nervousness and anxiety. But sometimes, because this was totally different, it was my first time, new people. And I kind of, what I interpreted was that is a healthy level of excitement,
yeah,
not an anxiety, not a fear. So any emotion that we have, remember, is a signal. And how we interpret that signal will determine what we do next. And I think that you, Marie and Ubaid, you did a wonderful job of taking a signal of fear and nervousness and turning into an opportunity to be even more authentic and real. So keep doing that and
so
stay on the journey.
Thank you
can I
so
ask
much.
a question? When you have a talk, is it helpful to, well, we already studied this, to have the aim, but then let's say the 3 stages on how you're going to tell it. Okay, I covered this one. I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to go to, and I wrap it up with this one. Which this is what I do in film, you know, open,
3 acts.
open, middle, and close.
Yeah.
You know, I have we call it bookends, but it just is that what you do? I'm curious.
Great question. It depends on, I do love bookending. So when I do a Toastmasters speech, which is a structured speech, much like these ones, I love to begin with a question, and then I love to come out. So I have a humorous speech that I'm doing, not next weekend, but the weekend after, which is for the National Championship of Humorous Speaking for Toastmasters International. And mine is about an adventure that I had in Amsterdam post-divorce, to go and meet a very beautiful woman that I'd met at a conference, and I lost my passport. And I start off by saying that I was distraught about the divorce, and my friends were saying to me, or as my friends like to call it, a fresh start, mate. You know, rather, it's not a divorce, it's a fresh start, mate. That's what my friends were saying. And at the end, after losing my passport and all this stuff, my summation of like, so what did I learn, is that sometimes in life, you think you've lost your identity, but it was with you all along. And really all that you needed was a fresh start. So I do like that technique of starting with something and call back throughout what we're saying, because, you know, these themes can build as you go through. And I think the more we speak and the more we are in these environments where, you know, Neil said just such a beautiful example today. I learned something from you today. I was like, what? I didn't even notice that. I just think that was so beautiful. The more capability, and this is excellence all around us. So we're modeling excellence. You know, I do a lot of events for Tony Robbins, and I'm modeling excellence, and I'm seeing, I love that, I love that. And because it's then in my awareness and my consciousness, it comes into how I present. Not quite subconsciously yet, I'm not quite at unconscious competence yet, but I'm always moving towards it. And the more we practice, the more space we have to say, I'm going to create a moment here to say this one thing. And I've given and I think we had this conversation, Marie, giving your brain space to breathe and go, oh, this would work even better. Have you ever? So I think the more we lean into it, the more skills we get, the more techniques we learn, the more vocabulary that we have in every single conversation, whether it's on a stage, whether it's on a phone, whether it's to a child or a partner. I just think it's the most powerful skill for me. And I think you guys have just been exceptional today. So with that said, any final comments from anybody before we finalize today's call?
No, I'd just like to say thanks again. And it was a great experience being inside this community and learning from people who have been doing this for a while. You know, this is always a great experience, learning alongside active learners. And these frameworks are going to be useful later on in our lives as well. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Obed. Thank you. Okay, guys, I will see you all on the community call on Monday. Have an amazing week. If anybody needs any support, I'm here for you. I love you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.